Make sure we good. Alright, so first and foremost, I'm gonna start off by saying Brakathon, Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shah, Bashir Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shout out to the whole Folly, started with the 144,000. So I was watching Elder Apostle Rumla walk and talk earlier, and he was he had quoted, they was going into, a lot of different things, trying to think exactly what the live was talking about. But the one part, that hit me, in the spirit was, how, Esau is, like the scriptures say, he smote the people in the continual stroke, right? And going to Isaiah 14, right? Going to Isaiah 14, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 3 before I get to reading though, but it kind of hit me in the spirit because I had did a lesson the other day, talking about, going into Job 9:24, how it says, the earth is in the hands of the wicked, who cover the judges, worth of paraphrase, who is he, right? And we know that's Esau, Edom, right? But you have these things, these characteristics to show their wickedness, the Bible, in the scriptures, you see the things that's, profess to be the wicked, and you see who've been doing those things physically out in the world today, right? Going into who've been putting people in captivity, who've been destroying the earth, right? Who've been, really, for lack of a better word, who've been destroying the earth, man? Who really transgress all the laws of Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shah, right? Turn everything around, completely, right? So starting at Isaiah 14:3, right? It said, it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, right? Because when you knowing that when it says wherein thou wast made to serve, right? It's like what's going into account, right? Root chapter, I want to say, go to it real fast, not to quote it wrong, but I quote the wrong chapter. Root chapter 4, right? Root chapter 4, verse 6, going on down, right? It says, right, you were sold to the nations not for your destruction, but because he moved Yahweh to wrath, you would deliver unto the enemies, right? So who was we enslaved? Who enslaves us, right? Esau, Edom, right? Our enemies, right? But as you go back to Isaiah 14, right, it says, it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest, right? And that's another thing, right there, Micah 2:10, right? It says, depart, for it's not your rest. You got the people looking for rest, man. Our nation continue out here looking for rest, trying to find plenty ways to try to find that, that comfortable spot, that stable spot. But you got to understand, so Micah 2:10 say, depart, for this is not your rest, because it's not our rest down here in this kingdom, right? We're in the kingdom of our enemies. Esau, Edom, man, this is their place. This is their kingdom. So therefore, ain't no rest down here for us. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no rest down here. Ain't nothing good for us down here at all. Even though the people give praises to the money and the things and the positions that Esau could put them in, but that's them all devil devices they use to keep you consoled and hidden from who you really are, right? Because people get rich and you try to tell them now they don't want to hear it, or if a brother, if a brother in a higher position than another brother, he don't feel like he got to listen to what another person say. You get what I'm saying? But when you understand the truth, this is the true knowledge. The only thing we need down here in this kingdom is the truth, right? Because all these things that Esau professed to the face and make seem convenient, ain't gonna do nothing but set you up for destruction, right? And it later lead you on to what? The MOTB chip. And that's one of the things that also is coming back to me now, I lost my thought a little bit before I had started this lesson, but that's another one of the things Elder Apostle Ramla was going into in the lesson, right? How, what I'm saying, Esau gonna be using that chip to try to make things seem, hey, what I'm saying, you having these pains, you going through this and that, and you take this chip that's gonna heal you. And down here, Jake looking for that rest, man. He looking for that easy way to make his life better. He looking for the easy way to find, the best way for him to get comfortable, right? But Isaiah chapter 16, it's like a second Ezra chapter 16 tell you, man, we're gonna be as pilgrims, man. Ain't no stable place for us. Pilgrims move, we gonna continue to move. This is not our rest, right? But keep going, right? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, right? And from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, right? And you go to that king of Babylon, who is that, right? The king of Babylon, it would be the president, but we also know it goes into that shadow government, man. Those illuminated ones, the ones that's behind the scene. The president just a puppet, right? The president just somebody who, in front of your face, where they telling him what to do, right? It says, and say, how hath the oppressor seized the golden city, right? Got some right here in my notes I want to bring out, right? Let me see. I want to bring out these things right here: Vanguard, Black Rock, State Street, right? I just seen some other day on social media. It was talking about how Black Rock said, I think it was like talking about how it's finna crash, jobs and everything. This system finna crash for a little bit, and jobs and everything gonna be scarce and things of that nature, right? Because these are $1 billion companies who in control of this thing, man. That hierarchy of Satan, man, and this revised Roman Empire. They're the ones who really in control in this thing, right? You just got the president in front of your face. He's just a puppet. He's just the one who, they using him to get it out there. But behind the scenes, you got, the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, right? You got these families, the Rockefellers. You got these families who really behind, these top 7 banking families really behind, who really running these things, right? And it says, the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, right? And the scepter just something like a king would have, right? A scepter is something that the king have. I got right here in my notes, right? But verse 6, really the subject in this, the point in this, what I'm trying to get to, right? Verse 6 says, he smote the people with the continual stroke. Right? Because why? Look what Esau doing to everybody, man. Right? Even going all the way back, like we think about it, going all the way back to the 49er gold rush, man. Right? Even the history behind that, how they come on the land, kicking all the natives off, right? Taking over their land just so they can find gold. That's why they said riches got by the sea. Roughly paraphrasing, right? Book of Sirach 10:8, right? This kingdom gonna be translated from one people to another because they stole all these things. But that's what the devil do. What the precept say the devil gonna do, right? Kill, steal, and destroy. That's what the devil come to do, man. Right? He says he smote the people with the continuous scroll. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and not hindered, right? Because why? Right? What I want to bring out here with my notes, I want to bring out Khan, right? It's gonna be a judgment for Esau Edom. Right? It ain't no, he is persecuted and none hindered. Nobody can help him. Right? This judgment they're gonna bring out. I thought I had a precept on it, but I think I'm gonna go into matter of fact, I think I'm gonna bring it out. So the quote in Revelations 11:8. Revelations 11:18, right? It says, and the nations was angry, right? Because nations are angry, right? Because they ruled in anger, man. Right? Esau ruled in anger. The nations are angry, right? He said, thy wrath is come. In the time of the dead, they should be judged, right? Because there is a judgment, man. And it ain't no getting out of it. Most High said, they should surely drink of that cup. Ain't no getting out of it. Ain't no stepping away from it. That judgment is coming for them, right? It says, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, right? And the saints to them that fear thy name, small and great, and should have destroyed them was destroy the earth. Who destroyed the earth? Esau, Edom, right? They rule the earth with a continuous scroll, man. They rule the nation with a continuous scroll. They out here destroying the earth. But they out here, destroying the people as well, mentally and physically, right? But, as it says, right, he says, give reward to thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, right? We know all Israel is saints, but everybody ain't called to be a saint. The elect are called to be saints, right? We know that, the saints are Israel, right? Referring to Psalms, right? Break it out real fast. The book of Psalms. I think 147 talk about his judgment. Then 148, right? It says 148, Psalm 148, right? At verse 13, let them praise the name of the Lord Yahweh, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, of people near unto him. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh, man. Right? So we knowing that, Israel are those saints, right? But we not, all Israel not called to be saints, right? But that elect is called, the ones who out here prophesying and, prophesying against his wicked kingdom. Ezekiel 35, right? Prophesy against Mount Seir, right? Then you got, the ones who out here giving that warning, right? Ezekiel 3:17 giving that warning to our nation, man. Right? Where it says, give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to thy saints, and them that fear thy name, right? Because that's the same thing, kind of what Paul was going into, right? And Timothy, right? When he said, I fight a good fight, right? And that day I should get my crown, right? right? Because we know, and that goes to reincarnation. Well, they gonna get their crown, right? Because he didn't get it back then, but he gonna get it. He gonna get it now when that judgment comes, right? The ones who fear the Lord, who wait, who happy to see Yahushua coming, right? Because the ones who think they're gonna be, they think they're gonna be happy to see Yahushua coming, so they see them chariots get the beaming and cooking people up. Right, but the righteous ones who've been in this thing, the elect, the ones, because the elect only ones who gonna be saved. The elect only ones who've been out here doing the righteous things and prophesying against this kingdom, letting people know what's going on. They're gonna be beamed up, right? And that's what the Most High gonna use against them, because it ain't no cloak for their sin. Esau, Edom as well, right? Ain't no repentance for Esau, Edom anyway. But for Jake, ain't no cloak for their sin. Right, ain't no, oh, I ain't know this, I ain't know that, right? Because why? This truth is out here, man. You got the prophets and the saints, you got the prophets, the elders, the teachers, right? Through the spirit and power of, Yahushua, it's the GMS, right? 100% truth, right? They out here prophesying, we out here prophesying and doing this thing daily, right? So it ain't no way that you can, oh, I ain't know this, I ain't know that. And Esau, Edom, man, it's coming for him, right? But going back to Isaiah, right? Isaiah 14, right? It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth singing. Why? Because Esau, Edom, they do so much, man. They do so much. They destroy the earth. They destroy the trees. They got the people out here going through hell, right? Because this is our hell, right? So let me see, what is that? When the righteous rule, when the wicked, yeah. Proverbs 29:2, right? It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, right? And that's why when you go to Romans 8:19, right? It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of power, right? Because why? The people waiting on us to get in the rulership. The people waiting on their rest, which is Yahushua coming back, saving the elect, right? But when Yahushua come back, we're gonna rule in righteousness, man. The kingdom gonna be ruled in righteousness, right? Let me see what that is. 2 Peter. 2 Peter, I want to say 2. Bear with me. No, might be 1 Peter. Bear with me. It might be. Let me see. Might be 1 Peter 2. No. Let me see. 1 Peter. I got to be 2 Peter. Let me see. 2 Peter chapter 1. Let me go to chapter 1 real fast. Okay, bear with me. The Lord willing, it's gonna come. Okay, let's get right over, right? 2 Peter 3:13, right? It says, nevertheless, we according to his promise, right? Referring back to Romans 9, right? Don't start at verse 4. The Israelites, according to his promise, right? Look for new heavens and new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness, right? So we gonna rule in righteousness, man. When the righteous is in authority, the people rejoice. Because when it's time for us to get back in our kingdom, right? You got Yahushua, King David, you got the elect, going on now, right? When we in rule back in our kingdom, it's gonna be the kingdom of righteousness, man. It ain't gonna be none of that wicked and all that shit Esau out here doing, right? It's gonna be a kingdom of righteousness, man, right? And that's another precept on us. Yeah, I got it in my notes. Isaiah 65:17, right? And it said, just backing up, right? The promise, right? Isaiah 65:17, right? It says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, for the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. All this wickedness is gonna be wiped away, because why? Referring to Jeremiah 31, right? It says, the hearts and it's like the laws and commandments are gonna be written in our hearts and minds, man. Right? So all we're gonna know is righteousness, right? Because if you go back, right, going back to Genesis 3, if you know going back to Genesis 3, right, before Eve was the seed later going on to Adam, right? We was the sons of righteousness, man. We was sons of power. But they say we didn't know no evil. We didn't know that, right? That's why I said was she eat thereof, right? She learned the ways of the wicked, right? She that eat thereof. The Christians don't got the spiritual eye to see. They think she really ate an apple from a tree. Because if you go to Genesis 2:9, it tell you, right? It's in the midst of the garden. This tree is the knowledge of good and evil, right? But when the serpent deceived her, which was a melanin man, he deceived her, right? And she learned the ways of evil, right? But that was all part of Yahweh Shai will, because you go down to Genesis 3 and verse 5, right? It tell you, right, that he wants us to learn the way of evil, because that's how you become a proper God. That's for you to discern the good between. That's how you separate the unrighteous from righteous, right? Because you got to think, Esau was that serpent from the garden. He said that serpent was more subtle than more anybody. That meaning craft and cunning. That's why the scripture say we got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as dove, right? Because Esau will catch you up, man. Esau will trick you. Esau get in your head and have you confused. But that's why the Most High said, now you know the good of evil. Now you become a proper God. So now these people can't confuse you because you knowing that. Now you know what's evil. But the people so caught up in their head, they so confused, drunk off that fornication of Babylon, right? They don't know that they living in evil. Right? But when you become a proper God, right, what Yahweh said, or to paraphrase it, you are gods, right? And actually referring back to Psalms 82 as well, right? It says, you are God, we should die like men, or to paraphrase it, right? Knowing that, we are the sons of power, but when we get back into the kingdom, we're gonna get back into that position, man. We're gonna get back into that righteous state. We're gonna get our God-like powers back, our spiritual powers back, right? But going back to Romans, right? Romans 8 and 19, right, says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of power, right? Because why? When we get in our kingdom, we get back to that righteous state, right? We're gonna be ruling the kingdom in righteousness, man. Right? So going back to Isaiah 14, right? It says, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee in the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellows come up against us. Right? It's going to when Esau be destroyed, when that judgment come upon them, man. Because you go at the verse 6, right? He said he smote the people in wrath with the continuous scroll, right? They went overboard, man. Right? Zechariah 1:15, right? The Most High put us in captivity for our punishment, right? That was the chastisement. The Most High said, who the Lord corrected, he loved. Right, he sent us in slavery for that correction, but you still have people out here dumbfounded. But that's all part of his will, right? That's why the truth's only for the elect. But you have Esau, they went overboard, man. That's why Deuteronomy 32, talking that verse 27 going on down, tell you, man, right? He's telling you, unless your adversaries should say, the Lord have not done all this. You got Esau running around thinking they the ones who wipe the remembrance for us, thinking they that God likes to, like they the ones, the reason why we in slavery, like they in control of us. But not knowing the Most High put us in slavery and put them in the position they in, man. They don't understand all that. That's why he said, Ezekiel 28, what was that, 2 Thessalonians, right, or 1 Thessalonians, right? They said they run around, trying to exalt themselves anything that's called God. They want to be in that God-like state, right? But Most High gonna come and show them his power, man. He gonna knock their ass right on down, man. Right? It says, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellows come up against us, right? Because the trees gonna rejoice, everything gonna rejoice, right? Because even referring to Isaiah 24:4, right? It says the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languish, right? Meaning weaken and fadeth away. The heart of people of the earth do languish, right? He said the earth also is defiled under the habits thereof, right? The earth is in the hands of the wicked. So we know Esau, Edom running, but the earth is being defiled, man. Because they go against the land Sabbath, right? They go against all these things, man. They destroying the earth continually day to day. This is where they destroying the people, right? He says because they have transgressed the laws and changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, right? Also, Psalms, 82, the earth is at its course, 82 and 5, right? He said, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on the darkness, knowing it's the kingdom of darkness, right? Say all the foundations of the earth are out of course, man. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Because why? Esau, Edom, they transgress all the law. They got everything out of its course, man. That's why the earth is languid. The earth is weakening, man. Ever since they came into power, this shit been dying. But we knowing, that's why we wait. That's why we prophesy against this weak kingdom, this polluted ass kingdom, man. It's all wickedness, man, right? And that's why they come on to our people hard to try to get you caught up in these ways. They rule the people. What it says, Isaiah 14:6, right? They rule the people and wrath with a continuous stroke. Let's be paraphrasing, They come with all these wicked things, all these wicked ways, and be out here just doing whatever to the people, man. Shoot them down dead in the streets, burning them up, tying them. You know them pictures they have in slavery, right? Tying people legs to their arms, all type of things, man. They do all these wicked things, but we know that judgment gonna come upon them, man. It's gonna come right back. It's gonna come back right back upon them. Obadiah 1:18, or Obadiah chapter 1 say it, man. Right? They're gonna be in a position that they never been in. Right? They're gonna be in that slavery. Everything gonna come back on them, right? And that's what we can I got a few more precepts I want to read. Isaiah 14 real fast. Let me see. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. But it really to really end it off right here, man, I want to go to Revelations 14, right? No, is it? Let me see. Boy. Oh, Revelation 18:6, right? Yeah. Revelation 18, starting at verse 6. Well, I start at verse 4, right? It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people," right? Come out of her, come out of Babylon. Micah 2:10, depart not to rest, right? That ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, double unto her according to her works. Right? If you go to the the parable with Lazarus and the rich man, the rich man was saying, hey man, pour some water on my tongue, man. What is he meaning, right? Not no hell, because ain't no such thing as no hell and people going to burn for eternity. That's that slavery, that hardship, that adversity, man. We gonna reward their ass double, man. Their ass gonna be in slavery, we gonna be on their ass, man. Right? It says and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she has filled her, in the cup which she has filled to her double, right? He says, she has glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said to her heart, I sit a queen. I am no widow and shall see no sorrow. And that's how Esau running around here thinking there ain't nothing gonna happen to them, thinking that they untouchable, right? But it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her, man. Right? Yahweh Shaphat, man. The valley of Josaphat. Most High gonna gather them all up there. They gonna go to war with each other. Yahweh Shah gonna come destroy, get on their ass as well. And the rest of them that's left, we gonna tie their ass up with throwing in slavery, man. And we're gonna reward them double, man. Right? And when they slavery done and over with, as Obadiah chapter 1, right? We're gonna tie them up and burn them all away, man. So it's coming, man. The judgment is coming, right? Because why? She went overboard, right? She ruled the nations in continuous stroke, man. She go overboard with the things she do, right? Matter of fact, before I even end it off, right, I gotta go to Ezekiel. Spirits of him, I gotta go to Ezekiel 35, right? And I just get straight to the point, right? Because this is said, set your face against Mount Seir. If you go to Genesis 36:8, right, you will see what Mount Seir is, the heritage where Esau Edom is from, right? Who is that? The so-called white man, right? But I get straight to the point, right? At Ezekiel 35:5, right? It says, because thou hast had perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword, right? Which is their birthright, which is why Yahweh Shah said, what? I come with the sword, right? Because that sword is sharpened, man. That sword is ready, man. That sword is ready right now, and Yahweh Shah finna come with that sword and chop shit up, man. Right? He says, by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, and the time their iniquity had an end, they went overboard. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, and blood shall pursue thee. This I will make Mount Seir most desolate, cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. I will fill his mountain with slain men, and thy hills, and thy valleys, and all thy rivers, they shall fall that slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return. Ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, man. Right? So Yahweh gonna show them he gonna show them his power, man. He gonna show them his power. And they sitting there, and Babylon gonna be desolate, man. Ain't gonna be no more. It's gonna be like a desert. Ain't like in no movies, like I was saying, ain't like in no movies when a whole lot of war go on in this place. And that's thing, you just see a bird or something sitting around the corner, or you see a bird fly through. Ain't gonna be none of that. He said the smoke should be forever, ever. Ain't gonna be no more. Ain't gonna be no more of this shit, man. Right? This shit gonna be done away with. Right? And a place down there, where Israel, right? Where they got them, where they got the people think that they the chosen people, right? They ass gonna get it too. And that place gonna be destroyed now, when we're gonna build it back up into the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, right? But, with that being said, right, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadice. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the hopeful that started with the 144,000. Shalom.